Welcome, everyone, to the Spoken Wheel podcast. We are recording episode 7. My name is Chris Valadez from Cycle Brookfield, and here with me, as always,
I'm Peter Janunas. I'm the owner of Gears to You in Riverside, Illinois.
So, yeah, that's where you are,
Yeah,
right?
that's where I'm at.
Okay. Sounds good. I've been there. It's in Riverside. We are welcome. We're happy to have with us today two really amazing, not only friends, but cyclists that are doing something quite stunning this coming summer. So I'm going to ask both Bo and Carrie to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit more about why you're here today. So maybe Bo, if you can go into what you're here for.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
So my name is Bo Hammer, and I live in Forest Park, just a few miles away. And I am one of the 8-member Race Across America team called Team Breathe America. We're going to do Race Across America starting June 15th in Oceanside, California, racing all the way across the U.S. to Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Wow. So just a few miles, it sounds like. Yeah, just
3,000.
Yeah, just 3,000 miles.
175,000 feet of vertical gain.
175. You've never told me that before.
Yeah.
Thank you for not recruiting me again onto this team. No, but
You like to climb?
Sure.
I've climbed with you.
Yeah, sure. We'll call it that. No, but Bo, that's really amazing. And I know you're here with your teammate Carrie. So I'll ask Carrie to introduce yourself to the crowd as well. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carrie Nelson. I am an Oak Park native. I am part of the 8-member team along with Bo. I just wanted to add a couple of things. It's not a stage race. This is a nonstop race. We leave Oceanside at noon on a Saturday, June 15th, and we don't stop pedaling for 8, maybe 9 days.
7, maybe 8.
7, maybe 8. I like the way you think. That's right. Be positive. Until we get to Jersey City.
Wow.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic
City. Okay. Wait, where
do I get lost?
Carrie's in Jersey City. Everywhere else is Atlantic City. Yeah.
So
Rodway Rodriguez.
It's relayed, right?
Yeah. So for the visual, we're eight people on the racing team with 16-person support crew. We'll be dividing into 2 4-person teams. Each 4-person team will be on a 12-hour shift, with the other 4-person team waiting 12 hours ahead of us. Each member of the racing team will go as hard as they can for 20 minutes, make an exchange with the next person. So you're 20 minutes off, 60 minutes on, repeat for 12 hours until we catch up with the other team.
Wow. So everyone basically has the turn for 20 minutes on the bike, as I understand it.
20 minutes every 80 minutes.
Every 80 minutes. Okay. And then it's just a constant rotation of your team is always wheels on the ground starting on that Saturday, June 15th. At 12 p.m., your team is literally moving the entire time.
Wheels rolling across the country 24/7, day and night.
Wow.
We have a vehicle that will be following us for safety and navigation, another vehicle for the rest of the racing team, another vehicle ahead with the crew that's off shift.
Wow.
It's a big ordeal. And I should say, really importantly, and Carrie can say something about this too, is our motivation here is to raise $250,000 for the American Lung Association. So we're doing this as a big fundraising event.
That's an amazing goal to go out, man.
Yeah, it's a big undertaking. The logistics of the race are almost mind-boggling, and that's kind of what makes it cool. I've done lots of different kinds of racing and cross-state gravel bike and stuff, but never with a crew. And the logistics that you have to work on when you're with a crew, it's kind of more of a family feel, I think. Hopefully, it will be. It has been so far at our team camps. But
I guess we're all together for 9 days.
Yeah,
No.
It kind of has to be a family.
7, maybe 8.
7
to 8 days, right?
Right.
But yeah, as both it was saying, each cyclist is paying for our opportunity to participate in this amazing undertaking. But then we're also using the race as a platform to raise a pretty substantial amount of money for the American Lung Association. Several people on the team have been personally touched by lung cancer, lung health. I lost my best friend about 6 years ago to lung cancer. She was a young woman, had never smoked, but she was a victim of lung cancer. I also was I had childhood asthma. I didn't ride a bike when I was a kid. I couldn't do really any outdoor sports at all.
Wow.
So it's near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so this hits home for both of you, and it sounds like, and obviously that's a big cause. I mean, lung cancer is it could be a very deadly disease, as we unfortunately all know. So
and what I've learned is that it's not just smokers who get lung cancer. My first personal experience and my big motivation for this was my first cousin, who's a lung cancer survivor who never smoked, and her husband is our other team captain. And my first cousin just got diagnosed with lung cancer as I was in the middle of my training for this race.
Sorry to hear.
This is real. It's serious.
Wow. So, I mean, I applaud you guys for not only, taking this endeavor of racing across America, but actually doing it for a cause that is clearly very near and dear to your hearts. I mean, it's, cancer, in my professional career, when I'm not a podcaster, I definitely, I deal with, cancer as well. And I understand how deep it can impact people's lives. So a lot of credit to both of you guys for taking this on. And so $500,000, you want it, is it quarter? Okay. Well, let's get up to half. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not go to half?
$250,000.
After this podcast,
now we've got the podcast.
We're type A cyclists, so we now have a $500,000 goal.
Yes, you are type A cyclists. I know that. So how did you come up with this $250,000 goal? It's attainable, I feel like, but why $250,000? Just out of curiosity.
That's a really good question. We decided we just wanted an ambitious goal. So part of the fundraising effort is to offset the cost of doing the event itself.
Sure.
And we wanted to, go way past that. We talked to the folks at the American Lung Association, and they worked with us on what might be a reasonable goal based on past experience. Our team captain, Steve Lindbeck, who's up in Anchorage, Alaska, has rode across the country once already solo. Wow. On a self-supported lung cancer fundraising ride. Okay. So he knows kind of how much money he can raise.
Okay, yeah. Times eight. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Wow. Okay, that's great. I mean, so yeah, $250,000. Obviously, that's only a drop in the bucket as far as cancer research world is concerned. But that's a great goal. I think you guys are out there, and I'm sure you're going to get there, and I'm sure your mission and story resonates with so many other folks as far as why you're out there doing this. So yeah.
Yeah. So part of it is just raising awareness.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing a 15 to 20 mile an hour slow roll across the country through 13 states, back roads, small towns, lots of rural places. And so, our vehicles will have the American Lung Association logo on it.
Okay.
And I think just by virtue of the fact that we're out there working our butts off, for this great cause, I hope will inspire people.
Yeah, I mean, you're inspiring me already. That I wish I was out there with you to do this. Maybe not. Put me in the flat stages, bro. Just kidding. So maybe just pivot a little bit away from the actual cause and the race across America. So you're here on the Spoken Wheel podcast, the Everyday Cyclist. This might seem unattainable to the everyday cyclist, but I don't actually believe that. I ride with you frequently. Carrie as well. I mean, we're out there. We're friends. We see each other. I know the capabilities what everyone can do. So as an everyday cyclist, maybe tell those that are out there, and I think it's attainable, and I think it's doable. And obviously, with a team and a strong team that you have collaborated. But what is your motivation to stay on the bike every day outside of race across America? Like, why are you out there on a daily basis riding your bike? And what is that doing for you, for both of you?
Oh, wow. I mean, mental health. That's my number one reason for getting on the bike. I mean, speaking about the everyday cyclist, I'm a mother of four. I work full time. I'm an attorney. I got into cycling like 5 years ago. And I started riding with the Oak Cycle Club and went out on group rides, got a little bit faster, tried some races, tried some more races. And, like any addictive thing, I kind of fell in. And I'm still diving deeper, apparently.
So my take on this is I fell in love with cycling maybe about 10 years ago. And so if you look at our team, I mean, we're not a team of elite athletes by any stretch of the imagination. our
Speak for
average.
yourself.
We have one elite athlete on our team. We have, I think, 3 or 4 members of our team are in their 70s. There's a couple of us in our 60s, few in their 40s. So we're not a bunch of young studs. Or However you refer to yourself.
However the kid, right? You're not 22 and racing crits every day. You guys
exactly.
You guys are the range is wide there. That's
a wide range of ages, a wide range of body types, a wide range of cycling styles. We have people who love to climb. We have sprinters. We have people, if you say go from point A to point B, and your job is to get there, they will ride till their wheels fall off. So it's it's the mental challenge, it's the training. We're all out there training 5 to 6 days a week.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I mean, so talk to us a little bit about what does that training look like? So you guys are obviously this is going to be really intense, and for those who maybe don't understand what was described, it's 20 minutes on the bike at really, really intense intervals. So that's a lot of work you have to do. So how are you getting yourselves acclimated to something that's different, right, than getting out on a group ride and going out for an hour to 3 hours, right? I mean, because this is a 20-minute hard period of time that you're riding, and then you're off for a long period as well. Yeah.
There's a couple of elements there. The first one is this time of year, especially building a base. The analogy that I've heard of is a pyramid. If you get lots and lots of base miles, zone 2. For the bike dorks out there.
We don't know about zone 2 very much here. It's
you have that base wide, and then you can build your pyramid higher. That's kind of the idea. I did crit racing for several years, and track too. So that kind of high power motivation that you need. There's a way to train for that. So this time of year, I was not currently. I'll get to that in a little later. But I was training a lot on the trainer, on the stationary bike, and doing intervals and kind of like powerlifting on the bike, I guess you would say, to build the muscles.
So is the trainer the right spot to do this? I mean, because it feels
you live
like
in Chicago, Chris.
I know.
It's been a mild winter. It's been a very mild winter.
It's been a mild winter.
Yeah, but I'm a weather wimp. So yeah, I mean, since October, November, I've been in my basement.
Yeah,
10 hours a week.
Sweat it out in the basement.
Yeah, lots of Law and Order. But yeah, it's like Carrie said. It's like alternating days between high power output intervals of that, alternated by days at lower power output, but just accumulating the minutes on the bike to build endurance. So power and endurance, because we have to go out, like you said, 20 minutes at 90% of what we can sustain. Get off the bike. Come down off that, sit for 60 minutes, and then repeat.
So are you essentially doing what you would be doing out on the road? Is that the concept there?
Yeah, we do. At least my coach has me starting to ramp up on race simulation days.
Okay.
So in a couple of weeks, I'll be spending 12 hours on a Saturday doing this, 20 minutes on.
Wow. Okay.
60 minutes off. And then a month later in April, I'll be actually doing an entire weekend of that.
Shoot. Okay.
So
good
won't
for
be
you.
with you.
Okay.
Unless you want to join me.
No, thank you. You're on your own there, my friend.
So are you guys are you coming to a complete stop for the other?
So wheels have to cross. Bike wheels have to cross. That's the one of the RAAM's got a lot of rules. Race Across America RAAM, and so. The racer vehicle will be waiting for the incoming cyclist to arrive with the outgoing cyclist already ready to go, and the outgoing cyclist starts moving. The incoming cyclist passes wheels. The outgoing cyclist takes off. The incoming cyclist has help loading their bike onto the trailer. They take off, go ahead 20 minutes, and do it again. And then the other 3 cyclists are, thumping their legs, or, nutrition and hydration are going to be real important. So we start in Oceanside, California on the coast. It'll probably be 60 degrees in San Diego. We immediately climb over the coast range into the Mojave Desert.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we'll go on day 1, we'll go from probably 60s or 70s to in the hundreds in the desert. And we'll spend the next day and a half in the desert, climbing up through southwestern Arizona up into the southern Rockies, into Colorado, across Kansas.
Wow.
So we're basically in the desert for at least the first couple of days.
Wow. Okay. So you get the hard stuff out early, apparently.
Then there's
And
Kansas.
There's Kansas. Yeah.
Then there's Kansas. Then there's the Appalachians.
And the
Actually, the
Appalachians.
hardest climbing is in the Appalachians.
Really? It's just real
It's
quick
like
steeps.
it's like this.
Yeah.
It's like this. The Rockies are like a slow up, and then a pretty screaming descent.
Fun stuff.
yeah.
Okay. Can I join just for the descent
Yeah,
portion?
well,
Be happy to knock those portions out for you.
So that's another interesting part of this is that you don't have a bench. The racers you start with are the racers you hopefully finish with. If
Okay.
people have to drop out, then we might be 6. Hopefully not,
Really?
but we could be
Really?
7 or 6
Oh,
racers
wow.
at the
Okay.
end.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't pull a person off the bench.
Wow. Okay.
Much as we'd like to have you at the Continental Divide.
Yes. Add some
You can take
weight.
the first 20 minutes in San Diego.
Could do that. That's a good idea.
You could come and just do it like Bandit.
Yeah.
Just join
Right
in.
alongside.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure. I will consider it. No, I'm just kidding.
You might be able to drive. And then ride once in a while.
No, I'd be jealous, right? They're out there riding. I'd want
We
yeah.
do go through
have
Southern
to.
Illinois. So
Okay.
hopefully
Yeah.
our Roundagon cycling buddies will
Maybe we're
out there with
gonna
the cowbells.
okay. So maybe we'll do that. Well, I'll send the date that they're gonna come through, and like if anyone wants to go see the team Breathe America, is that say that correctly?
Team Breathe America.
Team
yeah.
Breathe America. Thank you. Yep.
Yep.
Come through Southern Illinois at some point. We'll post it and let you guys know when to expect
Yeah,
them.
and through RAAM, Race Across America, they will be tracking each team. So I
okay.
think they'll have team trackers on their website, and
Wonderful.
we'll get you that.
Wonderful.
So you
Okay.
can follow our progress.
We will absolutely follow progress through, and we'll share that with our followers here. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, my family's totally going to do that. They're
Really?
come down to, I think it's Normal Bloomington is the town that we.
Oh, that's not
That's not
bad.
that far
Yeah,
south.
not- not-
That's
that's
how
our-
far south you guys are in Bloomington normal.
We need to double check because
Okay.
they're
Well,
vegetarians.
Carrie, don't trust Carrie, right? Apparently, she's going to be in a whole other town.
He
so-
says south. I'm thinking like SIU.
right? Yeah, yeah.
No, I think it's Normal. At least the original map had us going through Normal, Illinois.
Okay.
But yeah, my family's coming down there. They're gonna make like a weekend out of it.
Fun, yeah.
Hopefully we won't miss each other. Hopefully I'll be riding that segment,
riding
not
that
waving
segment,
from the van.
Waving for the van,
Yeah.
really anticlimactic there
Right.
for them, yeah. So is the route is it a set route? Is everyone following the same path? All the
It's
teams?
very set.
Okay.
Like there is a route book, and so as I said at the top, we have a follow vehicle with a navigator, a driver and a navigator, and there's like turn by turn directions, and if you miss a turn, you can't like we do on our rides.
Yeah,
like,
just go another
find
block
it,
over,
Like
yeah,
find it later.
okay.
You have to go back to where you missed the turn.
Oh, really?
And then continue on
Okay,
the route.
Yeah.
okay.
And the RAM officials are there's a GPS tracker that's tracking you all along. So you
Wow.
know,
Okay.
Of course, they don't want any cheaters, but
Of course, yeah.
but, everybody's got to do the same race.
Sure, sure. Okay.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it's complicated, and it's not like going across I-70 or whatever.
Sure,
It's
sure.
back roads.
And like So obviously you guys have cue sheets and navigation. Is that how it's working, or how is it on your Garmin?
Yeah.
Is that like how does this work? I'm really
think so.
curious.
I don't know if we're going to have it on our Garmin. I think we're going to be relying more on our crew.
Okay.
In terms of, we talked about having kind of like a code system going, where
Okay.
they're like two honks is turn right up here.
I thought it was left.
Oh, details. Yeah, we'll figure that out. the day
That's how you're
before
gonna
the
end up in
race.
Bloomington normal.
Yeah, Bloomington Normal and in Jersey City apparently. Yeah.
But I think if this does happen, we're going to be super pro. We're going to have radios,
Ooh.
like the Tour de France.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They told me that. I'm like, yeah.
Now I definitely have
That's cool.
FOMO. I want a radio.
So what your bikes? Let's talk about the bikes. What-
Yeah, sure. Let's talk bikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So spin it again. What kind of bikes you guys riding? Like not necessarily the brand, but
Yeah. So I've got
road
a
bikes, obviously.
1963 Schwinn Continental.
With shifters on the deck.
I can fix that.
Talking Pete's language now. Yeah.
No,
You
I
should
heard
do it on
about
a
you.
tandem. Yeah. There you go. And then you
No,
really
I'll
get
be
Pete's-
riding
yeah.
a very lightweight road bike. All carbon, electronic shifting. It's a very sweet bike.
It's What about you, Carrie? What's your
Yeah,
steed?
I have two road bikes. Well, actually, we're all going to have two bikes.
Oh, I was
We
gonna say
can
yeah.
have
So
a
you
backup.
have a
multiple
spare.
bikes.
Yeah. Okay.
an A and a B, and also having them be a little bit interchangeable too. So if
Oh.
one component goes out on your A bike, maybe you can cannibalize it from your B bike.
Smart idea. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I have my two carbon racing bikes. Their names are.
You got names. What are their names?
Their names are Amira, which is just the brand name, but I like it, so I kept it, and Red-winged blackbird.
Oh, there you go.
I have not yet named my bike.
Well,
so
step
my
it
wife
up.
names all her bikes.
It's a cool
and
thing.
I was like, why do you name your bike? And this might not be appropriate for all.
Go for it. Go for
She's
it.
like, anything that spends that much time between my legs needs a name.
We'll end it there, but yes, thanks, Bo. Thanks for the color commentary on that one. Yes, and
So
and your wife.
if say you got a flat while you're riding, do you have to stop and change bikes, or can someone tag in for the few minutes, or
That's a good question.
I think a crew member comes out,
Yeah.
hopefully with just
With a
a new
different
tire.
bike.
Well,
Or a
or
new tire.
just a new tire. Maybe your new bike. I don't know. We have to talk about that.
Yeah, we
that
haven't really talked about
specific
that detail.
we'll get you guys back on?
They probably just throw another racer on the road.
Well, that's what. Yeah, I mean, can
because
you
only
just sub
20
someone in
minutes
for
and
someone who's
it
awake?
takes 5 minutes
Yeah,
to
somebody's
swap
awake.
out.
Yeah. So you could do that swap out where you're going to say, like, if you're halfway through, like, if you got, like, you're in 18 minutes, you get 2 minutes left of your segment.
Yeah.
Can you, that next person can just jump in for an additional
Yeah.
2 minutes or so?
And, yeah,
think-
and there might be longer pulls too, depending.
Okay.
I mean, like if you're doing a super steep climb,
You don't want to start
You're not
uphill.
gonna- you're
they're not going to pull you off and have somebody
Stop
start
the
at
middle, right.
14% grade.
Yeah.
You know.
I think, 20 minutes is like average.
Okay,
And so
got it.
we'll be, part of our crew chief's job and our deputy crew chief is to sort of make the real-time adjustments.
Okay.
So that we're nimble based on road conditions, winds,
Yeah.
elevation. 20 minutes, if you're on a descent and like, okay, you're going 40 miles an hour, time for you to stop. You're not going to
It's not
stop
gonna
the
happen
person.
either. Right?
No, yeah.
So,
And we don't want to lose the time too.
Agreed.
and you need,
yeah.
and one of the RAM has very tight rules on where the racer vehicle has to pull over to do the exchange for safety reasons.
Oh, really?
So you
Okay.
can't just do it anywhere. You
Got
gotta,
it.
Like
Okay.
have a wide shoulder, be 3 feet to the left,
Wow.
right of the
Okay.
white line, and
So talk to us about maybe about your team, because obviously there's a lot of logistics that are going into this. So do you have your coordination? How does all of this work between all the rules instead of it sounds like a Formula One race. There's so many. The rule book is probably really thick. You have specific guidance. So like who helps you with all this sort of stuff?
our crew chief.
Your crew chief.
Our crew chief has done this before, twice. Right? Is that accurate?
At least twice, yeah.
Yeah, and some other members of the crew have done it before too. So they're really the experts, and we're going to be relying on them for everything. The way that they described it is, we're the racehorses. We kind of just
Sure.
train and make sure that we eat and drink and sleep, and they tell us what to do.
Yeah.
It's no wonder you don't know where you're going or what you're doing.
It's I'm not used to being told not to think. Like, not since high school football was I told not to think, just do.
Just do.
Right. But yeah, we've hired these guys, and they're pros at what they do. We rely on them to get us across the country safely and successfully.
Okay.
And they're
All right, so talk to me about so is everyone sleeping in a van essentially, or is there or I'm really curious. Like, how is this like you guys literally sleeping in vans, or?
That's what I do normally, but for this week, I'm gonna have the luxury of a hotel every night.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
not every night, every 12 hours.
Every 12
so
hours.
the 4-person shift that is not racing is going to be resting. We're gonna do a leapfrog.
Okay.
Type situation. So it'll be hotels.
Wow.
And same for the crew members, because it's even more important for the crew members to sleep.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's probably just the logistics behind that. So how big is the entire team that we're talking? So we have eight racers, and how big is your crew?
16.
So 16 total.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
5
So
vehicles?
it's 24 people total.
Wow.
Would you say?
And 5 vehicles? Is that what we're
I
looking
think
at
5
now?
vehicles. Yeah.
Wow,
So it's
okay.
it's a big undertaking.
It's a huge undertaking for
And
sure.
there's several teams, right? How many teams are there?
I'm not sure how many 8-person teams are. So RAAM has solo 2-person relays, 4-person relay, and 8-person relay. And I think the most popular category are the single and 2-person.
That's popular. Okay.
I think that's what it started as.
Oh, really?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's a huge bucket list thing for folks to do.
Sure.
that.
I can imagine.
Is that 2025 for you guys then?
Solos.
I would do a 2-person.
I would consider
Bo?
4-person. No way. No way.
Let's get through this one first.
Yeah.
See the decision might change.
My through axle's very loose, and my my wheels fall off real quick.
So speaking of wheels falling off, you guys are out there doing, your standard rides, and are you toning down anything as far as this, or is it like standard rides and get out there just to ride every day, or are you really regimen on your training schedule on the trainer, or what has this changed sort of your everyday scope of getting out on the bike and enjoying it, just by doing this race? Has anything changed?
I mean, I hired a coach. Although, I've had coaches for other events that I've done.
Okay.
But no, I haven't. I'm not doing it, specific.
Okay.
Except for the simulations that I will be doing when I get back to riding a bike.
Got it. Okay.
But
We're going to talk about that?
sure.
Yeah. If you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. So my other day job is a mountain bike racer. I do mountain bike racing, and I was doing a 24-hour race in Tucson, Arizona, and almost finished, feeling super confident, and went over a really difficult part that had not given me difficulty on any of my other laps, but the final lap I was airborne. The bike got airborne, and then I was airborne off the bike. I did kind of like a Superman and rolled sideways, hit this entire side, and then landed flat on my back. I had a pretty serious fracture of my collarbone, and I fractured 3 vertebrae.
Oh, boy.
And
When was this?
This was February 18th, less than a month ago.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Will she get better,
Will
or
she get
will
better?
she have to bail? So
Well, let's make sure everyone follows, Team Breathe America through Carrie's process and progress here. We're rooting for you, right? Yeah. You got this.
Yeah.
You got this. Yeah. This
So
is,
one of my goals throughout this whole thing, we've been planning since I think a year and a half now, and I knew training was going to be hard. I knew it was going to take a lot of effort. I knew I was going to have to get a coach, and I knew I was going to up my hours on my trainer in the basement. But I didn't want to lose the joy of cycling,
Right.
which was my number one goal was not to lose the joy of cycling.
Good.
And it's been a little bit difficult, during these transitional months from the bit where I'm every other day you want to be outside.
Right.
And that's where my joy of cycling comes, is being out on the roads.
Only when it's nice weather, Bill.
Only between 65 and 85.
The sweet spot for you is pretty small, right?
California boys.
Yeah.
So
What are you doing here in Chicago? Right?
that's
Right.
another long
That's
story.
right. Exactly.
I think you're totally right, Bo, about not losing the joy. And go back to your question about, what are you doing a little differently? By starting training earlier, I have the option to do some fun rides and do some other races. If you try to train right before, if you have just a 3-month ramp up to something like this, you're going to be miserable because you're going to be a slave to your training regime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. Sounds like you guys have a lot of training ahead of you and a lot of hours.
A lot of joy.
A lot of joy. Yes, you do. Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys can continue to get out there and getting that joy out there, and the obviously, this coming up. So it's June 15th is when you guys start this out of California. So
Oceanside to Atlantic City.
I can't wait to see the progress of this route, and obviously raising money for this wonderful cause is something that is near and dear to your hearts, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers here have maybe been touched by lung cancer as well. So hopefully you guys raise the money. We want you to be successful. I know I throw out $500,000, but hey, get to the $500,000. Let's get to the $500,000 mark. Why not? I did it arbitrarily, but why not raise more money for lung cancer? We should be supporting this cause fully. So why don't you guys tell us how can if anyone watching, listening wants to support your cause, what do they do? How do they support you?
Well, now that you ask,
Well, Chris.
we have a website that I believe is going to be linked from the YouTube video of today's podcast. And you can just click on that, and it's super easy to give any amount. No amount is too small or too big, as they say on PBS. And if any bike companies, bike shops are watching, and they would like to give any kind of donation in kind, we're going to be doing a raffle. So we're accepting any kind of bike gear, bike items as well.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, you guys, the team can be supported, but can individual racers also be supported? Is that how that works?
So at the American Lung Association's fundraising page, we have a Team Breathe America page, and then each racer has their own fundraising page. So you'll see Carrie there, you'll see me there, and the 6 others of our racing team. So you can once you go to, I wish I had the link memorized, I don't.
we'll post it. As Carrie mentioned, we'll post it on there so everyone can find it. Yeah.
But yeah, you can give, when you go to that page, you'll be giving to one of our individual fundraising pages, but it's not a competition. We're raising for this joint effort, so it doesn't really matter.
It's not a competition, but I'm going to win.
Yes, yeah. Carrie has more of an advantage here, right? She's coming off a fantastic mountain bike story. There you go.
Oh my gosh! If only I had $250,000.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Yeah, let's give to the cause. Let's get Carrie back on that bike.
I just hurt my knee.
Amazing. So, well, guys, this is really inspirational. I am super excited to watch you all go through this adventure. Bo, we ride together, Carrie. I'm really proud of you both, to be honest. Like you're taking this on. You've inspired me to want to do something more like this. I won't be joining you, but sorry. But I, definitely want to encourage, everyone out there watching to follow this page, give what you can. These are 2 not only fantastic human beings, but good friends of ours, and they're doing something for a great cause. And please do support what they're doing and follow them and follow their story. I'd love to have it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, good.
Thanks.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for
Thanks
coming.
for being out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to end this episode. We're very excited again to bring you an episode of the Spoken Wheel podcast. Follow us, like, subscribe, share with all of your friends, especially this episode. It is a really important cause here. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, we're on Facebook. We're everywhere these days.
We're not on TikTok.
We're not on the TikTok yet. Yeah, we gotta figure that one out, Pete. That's your job, I think. Yeah, so
it's gone.
It's gone. Well, but thank you again, everyone, for tuning in today's episode. I'm Chris Valadez from Psycho Brookfield, and with me,
and I'm Peter Janunas from Gears to You in Riverside, Illinois.
Can't wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you.